What is a fractional chief marketing officer or CMO? That's the question we're diving into today. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what a fractional CMO is, what they charge, and if your business is ready to hire them. If you're trying to figure out exactly what a fractional CMO does, then this is the perfect time for you to be watching this video because they can have way more impact than you can possibly imagine, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay, here's the simple definition. A fractional CMO is a part-time chief marketing officer. Well, what is a chief marketing officer? Well, a chief marketing officer technically is somebody who oversees all of the other marketing officers. There's marketing directors, there's marketing managers, there's all of these other titles, and their job is to actually oversee those people. Now, over the last 10 years, the definition has changed a little bit. A fractional CMO is now somebody that businesses hire to leverage somebody who has the experience and results of a chief marketing officer, but effectively they work part-time for you. Now, why would you want to hire a fractional CMO? Well, the reason you hire a fractional CMO is so you can leapfrog. You effectively are avoiding all the landmines and you're tapping into the experience and the history of that CMO where they can say, I've seen your business 10 steps in advance. I already know the things you have to do at level A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on and so forth to be able to go from where you're at here to where you're going here. You're effectively fast forwarding your results and avoiding the pitfalls. So why does this role exist? Well, since the dawn of time, everybody's always looking for the shortcut. And a fractional CMO is just that. They're your shortcut. So the fractional CMO has typically already worked in the big corporate jobs, or they've owned their own businesses, or maybe they're currently working inside, or they own a marketing agency. And quite frankly, they like solving problems. If you're going to be a CMO, it means that you have this weird combination inside of your head. You are half mathematical and half creative. And the world doesn't have a lot of those types of people. It's very rare that they both exist inside of one brain, because we all know creative people are creative and math people are math people. But in order to be successful in marketing, you have to be both. And what that means for the individual is they get really excited about solving problems. They like to find the creative element that gets people engaged and evokes emotion, and they like analyzing the math to see if it was successful or not, and iterate on the next test. So this role has effectively been developed by people who still want to help and have their hands in the game, and it's driven by people who want to have the shortcut without hiring a very expensive full-time staff member to just make those quick leaps and bounds. Now here's the problem. Here's what most people think a fractional CMO is. They think a fractional CMO is somebody they're going to hire, and that person is all of a sudden magically going to do all their marketing for them. And that is completely wrong. In fact, there's 3 types of fractional CMOs. There's consultative, there's managerial, and there's execution-based. Consultative is only going to work with you 2 to 4 hours a month. They're going to meet with you, they're going to analyze your stuff, and they're going to tell you exactly the things that you need to do, but it's on you or your team to go and execute them. The upside to that is they're the least expensive. The downside is if you don't have the team or the time to execute it, you're going nowhere. The second one's managerial. That's where they spend double the amount of hours in your business every month, and they actually manage the team that you have. Now, the pros of that is there's a communication link directly between them and your team, and they're overseeing them, and they're overseeing their execution and their timelines and their results. The downsides, if any, with that are 1, they're more expensive, and 2, if there's not a culture communication mesh between them and your team, sometimes that can create a little bit of inner turmoil inside of your business, and God forbid they're the wrong hire, it can actually decrease the trust that your team has in you, the owner, long term if it doesn't work. The third one is execution-based. This is where somebody is hired, a fractional CMO, and 9 times out of 10, they own a marketing agency. And what they're basically doing is saying, I'm going to step out of here with a few of my hours every single month, and I'm going to work with you and your team directly to structure the strategy. But then once we agree on it, I'm going to put it inside of the system, and my team is going to execute everything. And that's actually my favorite combination, because if the fractional CMO develops the strategy and they have a team that can deploy it, traditionally that team's already been trained to their standards. There's already SOPs in place. There's already speed requirements in place. and it's usually the shortest timeline to get results. So what type of fractional CMO does your business need? Well, I could give you all of these different variables, but I find that's too confusing. So I'm just gonna break it down into the one that I think most people can comprehend the easiest. I'm gonna talk about revenue. If your business is doing $1 million to $3 million a year, that's where I recommend a consultative fractional CMO. Because you've got a small team, they can come in, they can tell you exactly what to do, you and your team can execute it quickly, and it keeps the expenses down. If your business is somewhere between $3 and $6 million a year, oftentimes I find a managerial fractional CMO is great because you've obviously had to expand your team to get to that point, and they can come in for a duration of time, make sure that everybody's doing things the right way, often overhaul a lot of the SOPs, which were probably clunky and never fixed from the get-go, and they can take you to that next level that you want to go to. When we look at execution-based CMOs, that's where I see somewhere between that 4 and 6 range and up. That's really where it's ideal to bring them in, because not only do they bring their experience and their knowledge and their strategy, but they've got a large team behind them that can execute very, very quickly. And when you're in that range of revenue, you need to have the highest level of execution to go with the strategy. So those are the different revenue markers that I suggest you hire the different levels of fractional CMO. Now, for those people saying, whoa, my business is below $1 million, what's in it for me? Who should I be hiring? I actually don't mind when businesses below $1 million hire a fractional CMO, but I would tweak it slightly. I would only hire them for one-off conversations. So you may be in this position right now where you've just decided, here's my marketing strategy. I need, for example, my KPI goals, because I don't know when I turn things on. I won't know if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm on the wrong track, what I should be prioritizing next. So you could hire a fractional CMO for 1 hour. You could deliver to them exactly what you want to do, and they could give you the guidelines and the best practices for that one thing, and then you can just pay them for that 1 hour and say, thank you very much. And then if you run into another problem, say 2 months down the line, you ring them back up, you said, I'd like to buy another hour from you. That's the ideal involvement of a fractional CMO when you're below $1 million a year. And then when you get to those higher levels, then you can consider bringing them on a more consistent monthly retainer basis. Now, if you want to see how this works inside a real business, I made another video for you. The video covers the 5 things you must know before you hire a fractional CMO. You'll see the link below, so go ahead and click it and watch it now.